am just tuning in to give you a tiny response to something I read in a post on my YouTube channel. Someone commented that they liked listening to the soundtrack to The Village, and that it must have taken me a long time to learn all those notes, and I just wanted to point out a little bit about the recording process of soundtracks, because I didn't know this stuff until I went there and until I was involved in a project, and I think it's actually pretty neat. Usually with a movie, all the filming is done first, and after the filming is done, then the composer finalizes their music, and once the editing is done, then you can actually, the editing of the film, you can actually start to record the music. And the reason you can't do it before that is the music has to coincide with certain moments in the film, and those moments are split seconds of precision. So you have to be able to know when that is, and you can't make the movie match the music. The music also helps set the tone for the movie, but the composer doesn't know how to do that most effectively until the thing is actually finished. So we didn't have a lot of time to prepare the soundtrack. In fact, I think that the Village soundtrack that I was involved in was a second shot. There was an initial one that wasn't working, so the composer, James Newton Howard, scrapped that and started over and brought me in. When I went to record, I had some basic sketches, but I didn't actually have much completed music. A lot of the stuff was given to me upon arrival, and we had maybe a day or two between when I arrived and when we recorded certain things. Certain other things we recorded the day after I got there, and some of the tracks I got the day that we recorded them. So a lot of that particular soundtrack is short-term preparation and a little bit of sight reading, but I did have enough time to practice the things that I was recording, so it wasn't completely winging it. James was really good about letting me in on the composition process, because there were certain things that he wrote that I felt in that short period of time I might be able to learn better in a slightly different structure, different format. So we worked together on that and got stuff that laid really well on the violin and in my hands in particular. And once we'd done that, it was great being involved in that. So to play it, I felt like I really knew what was going on. Also, Night Shyamalan, the director, was there in the sessions to tell me about what he was trying to attain in each scene. So interpretively, I had some really good inside information, and I knew what I was emotionally trying to convey when we were playing. And the final thing is that when you're in a recording session for a soundtrack, there's a giant screen up in the studio somewhere. So it's either behind you or in front of you or off to the side, and you see it peripherally. The conductor can always see it. For certain specific moments that you need to match, there will be a flashing light giving you like a 4-second warning or a 4-beat warning. So 1, 2, 3, go. And on that go, whether it's a 4-beat or a 2-beat or a 10-beat or whatever, you see it coming, and you know that at that moment you have to line the music up perfectly. In the moments around that, it doesn't always have to line up exactly with a certain thing, but if, for example, I remember there was this one where there was a kiss, and a certain chord had to be hit at the moment of the kiss, or there was another circumstance where there was a conversation and a key word was uttered in the conversation where we had to play a note right on that word to get a certain effect. So, that stuff is indicated. And other times you have, before you start a take, you have like a line going across the screen, and when it hits the other side, you start. So it's a really great kind of backwards process for me, because you start with the interpretation, then you find the notes. And it really was educational. It taught me a lot about how I approach projects and how I approach music and how music can illustrate things. So I had a wonderful time making that recording. I love that soundtrack. I think James Newton Howard did such a beautiful job with it. It's great music on its own, and I think it really adds a lot to the film, so I feel very lucky to have been part of it.